What's going on, guys? Saxman here. Just want to take a brief moment and give you guys a kind of behind the scenes and the meaning of my new upcoming album, Hellfire. This is going to be one of them albums that you don't want to start in the middle of. You want to start at track one and listen all the way through. The reason behind that is this album tells a story. I when writing this album, uh, basically I'm from track one all the way to track five. I got five. There's five tracks on this album. I started with track one all the way to track five to tell a story. And when you listen to this album, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about with telling a story. And each person's going to interpret the story a little different. But for me, of writing this, when I started with this album, with track one, the title of that track is called The Groove. And when you hear it, you'll understand why it's called a groove. It's a grooving track. You just want to dance to it. It's really cool. But the reason is it's because it's the groove. It's an upbeat, kind of feel good track, and all, which is kind of how we are in life sometimes. We're in the groove of life. We're going through, everything's going great for us. We have no worries, and everything's just going smooth. So that first track, The Groove, is basically that when life's going good and everything's going good, you're carefree, think you're invincible and unstoppable, and that's what it is. You're in the groove of life. You're good. You're going. You're upbeat, and that's the story behind that track. Track two, it's called Hellfire. When you listen to it, you're going to hear the mix of it sounds a little kind of cluttered, I guess you say, is the word I'm looking for. The mix, it's not as like you hear some mixes of song, everything's more balanced. This mix, it's all like everything's kind of bundled together, which is on purpose. It's done on purpose. When you listen to it, you'll see what I'm talking about when this album hits. But with it, it's all clutter, and it's called Hellfire because once you're in that groove of life, sometimes out of nowhere, where Hellfire basically, bam, knocks you right off your feet and knocks you right, to the lows of lows, in life. And you feel like that. You feel like nothing's balanced in life. You can hear things in the distance and stuff, and you can hear stuff kind of, in the distance where, you hear things kind of laughing at you and kind of, making fun of the bad that's happening in your life. Well, that's kind of what this track is. It's a kind of to simulate how life kind of just clutters everything together and clutters our vision and all, and even our our thinking of life and all, where everything's just bundled all together, and we just kind of take everything together and nothing's evened out. But when you hear this track, you'll see at first it's like wham, it's overwhelming. So if you're listening to it on headphones, a little heads up, when you hit track two, beware, you might want to cut your volume down a little bit and just beware so you don't blow out your ears, because this track's going to be really intense and everything's going to be coming at you all at once. But it's really crazy and all. You'll kind of get that. But this is kind of to simulate, how with track one, everything's going great, life's good, and then track two, bam, life starts throwing stuff at you, knocking you down, knocking you off your feet, and all. And three, the track three is entitled Clarity, and that track is basically where after things get you off your feet, you kind of come to terms with life that, okay, things aren't as great as I thought they were, but I've overcome the obstacle. So I'm back on track with my life. of getting in the groove, getting things done. And you'll hear that when you hear the song. This is one of my favorites off of this album, and one of my favorites that when recorded, when playing it, and all. But you'll hear that this track, it's really clear, everything's balanced and in the mix, and also when you hear it, or you're listening through headphones or whatever, you'll hear the clarity to where everything's evened out, it's balanced, and all. Like, life gets sometimes after, the so-called hellfire comes at you, and all, you get clarity that you've overcome that, and things aren't as great as they were at track one, but you're still okay. And then track three, four, sorry, track four is entitled Death's Door. And this is going to be first of all, this album is going to be something that honestly that really get people thinking. And all, Death's Door is basically when you hear the track, it starts off uh, where you hear train tracks, and then all of a sudden you hear tires screeching and a loud crash, and that's basically Death's Door. And then you'll hear like an over vocal over that, and all that makes you question everything, regardless if you're religious or if you're not religious. At some point in your life, you're brought up and told certain things, you to believe certain things, and this is to get you questioning that. That it's basically, it's a what if scenario of what if you die today, unexpected, and when you die, you find out that everything, and you come to terms with everything, that everything that you were taught and told growing up in your life was all lies. What if none of it was real? And in this track, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's a really cool track and all. And the last track five, it's called Stormy Dreams. And you'll hear in this track that it's got you'll hear rain, the stormy part. And part of the track of some of the stuff that I use, it's got um, like a dreamy type feel and all. And the last and final track is basically, it's a, everything that you've just experienced. What if it was all a dream? What if none of it was real? What if you weren't, starting life off great? What if all those obstacles that came, that you overcome and got clarity with, and then you died and saw that, got you questioning everything? What if none of it was real? What if life itself was just a big hoax? What if none of it's real? What if nothing we do on this earth really matters? And that's kind of the meaning of this track. And yes, it's all instrumental because, it's sax. I'm the sax man. So, of course, it's all, sax incorporated. But that's kind of behind the scenes of the meaning to this album. So when you listen to it, I hope you guys, can kind of see what I'm talking about of the meaning, and to take your own interpretation of the album as well. That would be great. But that's the meaning of behind this track. It's different than anything I've ever done. Uh, there's some stuff I've never used before. And all some stuff I just kind of played around with. But I had a lot of fun doing this track, doing these tracks, and just working on this album. And I hope you guys enjoy this album as much as I love working on it. And once it comes out, I would love, get some feedback. I'd love to know what your favorite track is on the album and why. And, if it does something for you, and it makes you think about life, That's cool. That's what it's all about. But the main thing, it's music. Music, I mean, helps us overcome things, makes us happy, can make us sad, uh, and just gets us through life. And every song you hear, you'll interpret a different way. Nobody will listen to the same song and get the same thing out of it. And that's the cool thing about this album, because I know that everyone who listens to it is not going to get the same thing out of it. They're not going to get the same interpretation out of this album. But this is the meaning behind each track in this whole entire album. That's why it's called Hellfire, because sometimes life kind of just, you know, throws the hellfire, you know, at us, so to speak. But yeah, that's it. But yeah, really excited about this album coming out. I believe it's probably one of my favorites out of my original stuff that I've done so far, and I probably have to say the most fun that I've had recording an album. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. April 1st of this year, 2025. It should be out, streaming on all music platforms, Spotify, uh, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all that good stuff. The list goes on. But yeah, so check it out. April 1st, 2025. Keep a lookout. Don't miss it, guys. Hope you guys have a great day.